What's
Right.
good with it? What's good with it, man? We back here at the cave, man, with your boy, the one and only, the noble one underscore 19, man. I got two of my friends, close friends, damn near like family here with me, man. The boys got some stuff they wanted to talk about with me. Really been itching to get on the show, so now I got them on the show. So we got the lights on, the red dot in the sky, so we finna get it going, man. First off, man, I got my front doggy here, Central Florida finest, man, my boy. Kenny Martin,
Otherly known as mentally capable on Instagram, actually. Check
mentally
him out.
capable. I like it. I like it.
Name is fitting, very fitting.
Very fitting. We finna get into it and figure out why in a second. And then my second host that we got on here, the one and only man, my 13 doggy, DP,
I
DKP,
yes
whatever you want
sir,
to
yes
call it,
sir.
man. What's up
Whatever you
with
want
it?
to call me, we out here, man. We just living life, trying to get to this paper. Ain't much to it besides just doing it.
Ain't much to it, but doing it. You gotta push it to do it, trying to get to the paper, man. And it's really crazy that you say that because I really got y'all boys on here specifically. Usually when I pick my topics and stuff, I try to cater them to somebody I know that can really like. I like to throw the lob, man. I'm an assist guy. I like to throw it to the person who, man, I know what they're gonna do with it, man. So when I hit y'all boys up, obviously about this topic, I call it the Hustle Chronicles, really, man, because we just talking about, like you said, getting that paper and getting to it. And when I kind of say the Hustle Chronicles, what I really mean is like I just kind of wanted to pick y'all boys' brain for a second just to kind of understand because I just know how y'all move and kind of living in that 9 to 5 life, but then also having those business entrepreneurship endeavors. And so just kind of getting into that's what I really want to talk to y'all about and just some key things to kind of just highlight on and just kind of overview we want to talk about is your first thought, man, is I know y'all hear a lot with the debate on, well, being full-time entrepreneur, being a full-time 9 to 5, can you really do both? Should everybody do both? Is that for everybody? So kind of want to get your thoughts on that. And secondly, if y'all are really like into that hustling and entrepreneur stuff, man, how do you just kind of balance that and just want to keep going and just get it out the mud and just kind of figuring out how where you belong and all of that. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. I get it.
For
You want
sure.
me to just jump in?
Yeah, man. I think that's just the best way we can really just do it and just kind of
All right, for
figure our
sure,
way out.
for sure. I will say I feel like a 9 to 5 is necessary to learn how to run an organization
Okay.
because if you don't really have the foundation from like a family member or like close friends that have their own successful business, then corporate America could be a good avenue to teach you the ins and outs of how to run a business from start to finish. So I feel like that's what I'm doing right now, working in corporate America, kind of figuring out how big corporations and these large Fortune 500 companies move, and try to scale that down to how I would do it in my own business. But at the same time, using them as assets to get all the skills, the trainings, and have them pay for that stuff so I can kind of use it as assets for me personally. But I do feel like it comes a point where you like, okay, I didn't got all I need from this company or from that type of field, and I want to dive, full time into my own thing. But people often say that, when you work for yourself, you never have like PTO. You're not able to really get no benefits either. So it's pros and cons to both of it. So,
Definitely.
I mean, I feel like right now I'm kind of still in the rat race when it comes to really figuring out my next steps of either going full time entrepreneur or still trying to juggle both. But right now I'm kind of in between because I still got some more to learn, and I also want to get all I can get from the company because they getting everything they need out of me, and I always listen to old heads that tell me stuff like, "Look, they'll fire you tomorrow. They can always replace you. So always make sure you put yourself first." So, you know, using that time when I'm not working to work on my own business.
Yeah.
So if it ever comes a point where, I have to stop working there or I feel like I didn't, expired from that department or that company, I don't have to worry about like, dang, what's my next steps? Because I already got something else to fall back on.
Most definitely, bro. For sure.
Right, right. And to kind of piggyback on what Devin was saying, um, I would say on top of the trainings and things that other resources that a company may pay for, the money, like the money, that's where you're gonna be.
Yeah.
How you gonna fund your business? Where you gonna
For
get the money
sure.
from? You need
For real.
somewhere to start, some kind of capital to start with. So having that job and working and saving your money and putting it towards your endeavors, that could be, your way to kind of like ease your way into the business. So kind of like going back to the question, like, whether you should be full 9 to 5 or like full entrepreneur. I think that well, at least speaking for myself, having a healthy blend of both is like a good like place to be, because one, you have, the money, the consistent money that you have coming in for your job to kind of take care of, your main bills, your obligations and things that you need to like survive and keep going day to
For
day.
sure.
And then you have on the entrepreneurial side, you got, you building, and this could be like your cash flow. And then if you have your bill money and your obligation money taken care of, you can put more of you can make sure you're focusing on growing your business as opposed to using your business to survive. Because I think those are two different like mindsets to have when you run your
Definitely.
business. If you run your business to get the bills paid, like you prioritize the money, getting this money so you can make sure you keep going and keeping the bills paid, and keeping your life moving forward, as opposed to a growth mindset when you using money to build and expand your business, make it more adaptable, and like optimizing it to make more money, and to like push it forward and grow it and nurture it. Like it's a different mindset, I believe, if you have, whether you're using your business to pay your bills and to survive, as opposed to, you have it running, you have, your bills consistently paid, and, you have a growth mindset instead of a survival mindset.
Definitely. And I think, I mean, both of y'all answers just kind of, for me personally, just kind of hit it on the head, man. I think you just gotta, like you said, Kenny, bro, you gotta have that good balance. And the reason why you gotta have that good balance is kind of like what DP said, for them reasons, like the structure. Yeah, it's a safety money it keeps you afloat, like you said, to pay your bills and stuff, but also on the back end, it gives you that structure and that mindset of how you want an organizational system to be ran for your business. So it can do, like you were trying to say, which is optimize your business. Because as soon as you said, I was like, oh man, you already dropping space, man. Having a business to survive and having a business that's being growthful and optimizing to bring in cash flow are two completely different things. Those are two completely different realms and stratospheres. And I think a lot of times people don't kind of understand that, because when they kind of have that debate on, oh, well, you can either be all in 9 to 5 or all in business entrepreneur, I think that's one of the biggest things that they kind of look at. Because if you got to have your business to survive, you ain't got no time to do no 9 to 5, because all the time you could cater into your work, that ain't going to your business, which means your business is not running as optimizing as it can. Whereas opposed to if you really just got your business and you just kind of trying to build some cash flow for the back end to walk away and retire from your groove, then I'm not looking at my 9 to 5 like I can't have it, because it's that safety net that I really need. And eventually I kind of understand, if I play my game, play the role, trust the process, then I can eventually jump ship from my 9 to 5, because I got everything that I needed from it.
And I think that's the best way to like have it lined up, because like you say, it's a safety net. Having a 9 to 5 is a safety net.
Yeah, man.
One big thing that I feel like people don't take into consideration when, going into entrepreneurship full time is like the benefits. Like these employers giving you, entrepreneur, unless you got some stuff going on, you got some connections, you got health and dental benefits. Like you need to go to the doctor sometimes.
Yeah.
One of the molars get to hurting back there, you might want to go see about that. And if you ain't got no insurance, that's a whole nother, man. Man, listen, it's about to get real rough for you. You know what I'm saying? So,
and on top of that, not to cut you off, but when you think about it, the good thing about work is you have PTO, personal days, and say, for instance, if you have a child, you have time where you are paid to still take care of what you need to take care of. But if you're full entrepreneur, if you ain't working, you ain't making no money.
You got to make 70
if you ain't, you feel me? Like now your cash flow is decreasing, because the money that you have in your savings now has to be used to sustain you until you get back to work. And the thing about work now is, if people can't really depend on you to get what they need from you, then they're gonna find the next best man while you out. And then you start losing clientele depending on whatever, business you have. and they just keep going on with their life. Like, for example, if we need a haircut and our barber can't get us, we're gonna go find somebody that can. So the show gonna still go on. It's all about finding out, what makes sense for you. So a lot of people really was depending on like that PPP loan while they had their own business because they didn't have no money coming in because people didn't have jobs sustaining them to continue to give them money for their own businesses. So a lot of people, I think, was going back to work after the pandemic when they realized like, dang, I can't do this full time and take care of myself and what I need as well. So I think that changed the dynamics of a lot of things for people that are in business for themselves.
So, man, I wish I would have hit on that PPP, man. I ain't seen nobody
Nah,
get
for
cased
real,
up on
bro.
that bit. I ain't even going to kill,
Bruh,
man.
I heard a lady I had actually talked to, like, no lie, last week, she was telling me that she got 3 PPP loans because people didn't have the right paperwork in place to actually get the money that they needed. So they had money left over for that actual field, and they got 3 of them. And I'm like, that's crazy. But that's why you got to have like a legit business so that when
Yeah.
it comes for the money to be funded to you, they're not like, oh, we don't even see you on Sunbiz as a legit business. We can't even find you if we look you up. So
So how
that's another
about,
thing when it comes to business.
so I guess we all kind of in agreement, like you should have a happy medium of having that 9 to 5 and then that entrepreneurship going. How do you kind of figure out and carve out time in your schedule on top of your 9 to 5, on top of your daddy duties that y'all all got to do already? Like, how do y'all find time to really work on your craft and your groove for your entrepreneur?
You just answered the question in your question. You gotta find time. You gotta find it. You gotta make time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time in the day. Like as you know, we talking on this podcast right now. Time is ticking by. You know, I feel like we're not as aware as we should be as to how much time we actually have because we have devices and we get caught up in whether it's devices or just other distractions. There's a lot of distractions these days and they eat away at your time. Like 45 minutes of like intentional focus, like doing something, like you could get a whole lot of stuff done. But you could easily burn that away watching TV, scrolling on social media,
For sure.
talking on the phone, whatever else, bullshit. Like, so it's just finding time. You got to find the time. You got to understand that the time is there and that there's also distractions there. And you got to make sure that you're using that time effectively and not, being distracted with whatever else is going on.
Definitely.
It's easy. It's so easy. You really have to be conscious. Like people, I feel like when they talk about productivity, they talk about like to-do lists. Something that I heard recently that I thought was very key was also having a not to do list, things that you shouldn't do because they're going to distract you or burn your time. So like, creating a list of things that will contribute to your downfall or things that habits or patterns that you fall into that, aren't productive or aren't conducive to, moving forward or like, reaching goals that you set for yourself. So finding time and then having a task list, a to-do list, and a not to-do list. You got to already be up on game before you.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think because the same thing you saying, I think we kind of saying the same thing, and I think the same thing we both kind of saying. It's just kind of being self-aware of what you kind of got going on. And like when you said, the first thing you said when you said productivity, the first thing I thought in my mind was a lot of times when people say I got a to-do list and they like, well, I'm getting work done, but is that work productive or is that really conducive work that you're really doing that can really give you some sort of benefit towards what you're working towards? Like being productive and just being busy are two completely different things that I don't think a lot of people really understand. And not only when you have that to-do list and you finding that time, the time that you have, because like you said, we got all the time and we got 24 hours in the day when people really look at it. But
people have made a whole lot more work with a whole lot less. Like, there's plenty of stories, plenty of like testimonies people give. Like it's possible. I'm the type to believe if there's a will, there's a way. If you really want it, you can make it happen. Like you just gotta
for sure
hustle on it and grind, stay down until you got it. And there you go.
I think it's also important to actually enjoy what you're doing as an entrepreneur because some people look at just the money and then they realize they hate what they actually started and then they dread doing it. So they start to push work off and they like, I'll get to it later. and then the deadline get closer and closer, and then they finished product is rushed, which in return causes them to have bad reviews from the consumers of whatever they are services or providing. So now people are like, man, I can't really rely on them because I told them 2 months ago what I needed, and then I get this rush product. So now whatever I needed to present to somebody else isn't the best product because they found out they didn't like what they were doing. So they do last minute work, and then you don't even have time to correct the issues that might happen. So I think it's important to actually enjoy it because now you look forward to going to do that work because it's like, okay, this is a fun project. And I think it's even down to like what you do professionally as your 9 to 5. When you go to work and you enjoy it, you don't feel like you're working because it actually brings you joy. You motivated, you looking forward to the next project or task at hand because that's something that you actually find joy in doing. And you look forward to just using that to build your resume to do something else. So I look at that with the stuff I do, it's like, okay, it brings me joy to kind of like build my portfolio from a professional standpoint and as an entrepreneur because I can use all of those resources together to showcase what I can do because sometimes people are like, okay, I don't have no proof of you being a legit business or, you know, look at even now, I look at how we do certain things. Like if we want to go somewhere, we be like, let me find out what other people say about this location or this restaurant. Because think about it, women do it all the time. Like you want to try a new restaurant, they like send me the menu because they want to see like, hey, are people saying this food good? If not, they're like, I don't know. We might
Go
want to
check
pick
them
somewhere else.
reviews.
So
Go and check them
I
reviews.
think it all goes into, what you do as a business as well as what you do for work because people be like, yeah, I want to get a new promotion at work. But if you're not really showcasing your talent or doing the best that you can at work, then people are not going to be willing to vouch for you to get a promotion or to take you to the next level. So if you think like you would for your 9 to 5, where you like, I got to do this, I feel like you do that for yourself, then you'll be successful as well because you can't just be scrolling through your phone at work or you're going to get fired because they're like, hey, man, you got a task to accomplish. So if you keep like being hard on yourself outside of work, then I feel like you'll be successful for real. And not to be long winded, but I was realizing how much time I was wasting, like Kenny was saying, on social media. And it wasn't even productive stuff. It just was stupid stuff that I'm on there like, I'm going to just go for 5 minutes. And then you look up, it's been an hour and
Wow.
you did a
Yeah.
bunch of nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So you're like, dang,
Hey,
I was supposed to be working on this.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say
real though. Like,
you better not dare get on TikTok and scroll one time.
I'm
Boy.
telling you, bro, you
I
be
ain't even.
stuck.
I didn't
That
stay
thing,
away this long.
hey, that algorithm, boy, they got something on that TikTok algorithm.
Yeah.
To get you going. Yeah,
Man, you get
that's.
lost in space, bro.
And I think a lot of times that's the real big thing that people just really don't kind of understand. And like we just kind of saying, like self-awareness and just kind of understanding and you only gonna get out what you put in. And I don't think I used to always think like, well, if I got a 9 to 5, there's no way I can be just as successful with my business that I got going on because I'm putting all my effort into my 9 to 5. But kind of like what you just said, bro, if you put in the same effort that you put into your 9 to 5 into your business, maybe just a little bit more. Cause I mean, you just got to be honest, like as an entrepreneur, you probably gonna have to work about 60, 70 hours a week as opposed to being working at 9 to 5 where you might be doing 32 to 40. So if you kind of just understand that and just kind of lock in, there's no reason why I don't think it's possible for you be able to do better with business and an entrepreneur type thing going on. I think we're just I think we'll just really be having it going. I think people just don't really understand it. It's just a discipline thing. I think people just really lack that discipline to really set themselves up to the standards that they job be having them set up. So they try to say that, oh, well, you can't run a 9 to 5 and a business at the same time. I guess for y'all, because I know y'all personally, y'all always like y'all will always be about y'all are gonna have a 9 to 5, but y'all are always exploring and working and trying to get into working some other businesses. How do y'all kind of navigate that? And what are your kind of things that you've kind of learned about yourself while trying to go through the entrepreneur route?
I know whenever I get locked in on something, like, cause I've had a couple entrepreneurial endeavors that I done allocated time and money to get up off the ground, and I've made money, with just about everything I put my hands on. But I would say that like you definitely have to be disciplined, but you also got to make sure you pick something that you have interest in because there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to have to do that you probably don't want to have to do. And, you're gonna have to do it anyway. Still, like, because if you don't, then how you expect to get it up off the ground? Like, so that goes into like discipline, like being able to basically do the things that you don't want to do when you don't want to do them. 'Cause
Yeah.
it'd be a lot of that. Like it's been things that I've gotten into. I like one part of the process, but to get to that part of the process, I got to do this, like these couple things, and it's like, but I mean, you got to do it. Who else gonna do it?
Nobody.
You
Yeah.
like you're the one who decided to, take on this endeavor. Ain't nobody told you, ain't nobody made you, So you got to get in there and figure it out. It might be hard, it might be tough, but the thing is, with every endeavor that you embark on, like there's gonna be some learning that you can get from it, and you keep that rolling and keep rolling with it. Like you're gonna keep gaining and developing skills that are transferable to like other things that you may get into. It's been a couple times that I've started something new or got into something, and it's like maybe an endeavor that I had got into maybe a year or two prior. There's something that I learned there that is helpful for what I'm doing right now. So it's like just as long as you out trying stuff, you got to get out and try things and give it your full focus, your full attention. Like you can't expect anything to like really grow exponentially if you're not really putting like a lot of your time and resources toward it. So you just gotta like lock in and make sure that you're doing everything that you can to push it forward and that you moving efficiently and effectively. Like I would say having someone to reach out to or like talk to, asking for help. Don't be scared to ask for help, ask questions, because number one, you don't know it all. Number two, you can't do it all. Like you might need someone to bounce ideas. It just as simple as someone to bounce ideas off of. Like use your people around you, your resources to like help you. Because I mean, everyone got their own story. Everyone got their own experiences, and all of those could come together to help you. Like you never know what experience or what skills that someone else has that could help benefit what you trying to do or what you have going on. So on top of like discipline, since we're talking about like entrepreneurship, on top of business, you need to also know how to network and use your resources around you because I mean, everyone got knowledge, everyone got experience, everyone got, these different like things in their like arsenal that could potentially help you, but you would never know if you don't ever like ask or like talk to people. So, network and use your resources and be this. I would say always try to be innovative and proactive with whatever you got going on. There's gonna be roadblocks and obstacles and impediments, but you gotta, do what you need to do to get over those obstacles or remove those impediments and be proactive in situations where it would be easy to just be like, oh, they said no, so that means no. Like you can't never take no. Like and then on top of that, you can't never tell yourself no before you hear it because a lot of times we kind of psych ourselves out of things before we can get started. Like you done told yourself no like 10 times already, and if you would have just asked, they would have said yeah, but you would have never known because you already told yourself no. So
Definitely.
you gotta stay with it. Long story short.
I'll say to like piggyback on what you said. On the opposite side of that, I think it's important to like be comfortable with failure and like understanding that you're gonna hear no's, a lot of no's before you hear one yes. And sometimes that discourages people. They like, bro, I ain't used to hearing no, so I'm just gonna, just give up. So when you okay with going for it, like the brothers always say, you went for it, you got to go for it because if you don't, then you'll never see what the other side of that no means if you don't keep pushing through because a lot of companies had failure 100 times. Like I even think about like, you just had a Stanley Cup. They completely restructured their whole brand and now they're making millions of dollars. And all they did was just keep trying. But if they would have just gave up when they realized like, bro, this ain't it, then they would have never been as successful as they are now. So just with business overall, like you never gonna always hear what you want to hear. And that's what makes you better. Like it's a saying that I heard from an entrepreneur that's really successful. And he was like, fail fast. So get over all those no's, all those not yet, or I don't like this, or that's not really the best idea, because that's going to help you in the future when you grow, because now you can rely on that no to actually help you build why they said no. It's not going to always be a explanation, but if you ask them why they said no, that can help you in the future. and it'll make you avoid steps that you might have to encounter again. So that's what I realized a lot. Just be okay just getting told no, or I don't like this, or everybody ain't gonna like everything. That's why there's more than one fast food restaurant. Like, people got preferences, and what worked for them might not work for you. So finding your own niche is important too in entrepreneurship. Like, what makes somebody want to use you versus somebody else if y'all doing the same thing? Because we all have people that do the same thing, but we have a preference.
Definitely. So what I'm kind of
And
getting from y'all. Go ahead. What's up?
I was just about to piggyback off Devin real quick with the whole no thing. Like, you got to look at no's as your reps. You got to get your reps in. Like, you should be looking for them no's sometimes just so you can get used to how I feel a little bit. Like, okay, they're going to say no. I don't care. I'm going to ask somebody else. Or shit, if they said no, I asked them this way and they said no, maybe I need to ask the next person another way or something. Like, you use those no's and those quote unquote failures or as lessons to understand kind of what you did wrong or what you could have did wrong and how you could improve that and, do better next time. As long as you had that mindset and mentality to like fall forward, I feel like you're always gonna uh, progress and end up where you're trying to be. Just not giving up and not taking no for what it is. Like, take it as a lesson and look to improve and build on that and go forward.
So what I'm hearing, man, first things first, be comfortable with no. Because if you're comfortable, you're gonna get more no's than yeses. So if you're comfortable with no's, man, when you catch yeses, it's even better because you already expecting that no. It's your
I
reps.
wouldn't even limit it at being comfortable with no's. I would say being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Well, yeah.
You're gonna navigate a lot of uncharted paths.
Yeah.
In any endeavor, like, you haven't did this before. This is brand new to you. Like, you're comfortable, like, to go and talk to these people or to go and, whatever it takes for you to like get it going. Like, there's gonna be some moments where you're uncomfortable and you're not gonna know what to do or what to say. But how do you adjust? Like, you gotta get the reps in. You might hear them no's. Like,
you gotta get them reps in.
Yeah, it's reps. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
How you expect to get muscles and you ain't getting no reps in?
That's all it is. Get the reps in.
Once you got the muscles, you all big and strong around this mud. Like, what's
and,
up?
and now you got confidence because you like, bro, I can bitch anything.
Now you good.
Put it up, load it up.
That's real.
So we get them reps in. Something else you said, I think that stuck out, man. Be comfortable asking for help, bro. Like, even if you got to get a mentor, bro, like, people did this before. People done struggled before. Like, it's no reason. I mean, you got to go through your own struggle, but sometimes you can avoid struggle by seeing other people's struggles and looking and learning from the mistakes or even just taking heed of it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You can't do it by yourself. And then on top of that, with asking for help, being relentless and not taking those, I kind of understand that, like, it's going to all be a process, man. Any business that you start off, man, it ain't going to be a super duper boom overnight. It's going to take time and kind of something like you said, like, if you got to come back to it after a year or so, after looking at something else and then kind of keep playing with it and kind of figuring out like a robot, like a Rubik's Cube, you just got to keep playing with it and keep playing with it until one day you get all the colors on every side solid. And once you get it, you got the muscles. You had to hit hella reps to get them turning and everything. So I think that's my key takeaways that I kind of got from y'all boys, man. As far as for moving forward, just kind of starting a business and everything.
Check out more Man Cave Chronicles content by following us on Instagram at the Man Cave Chronicles _ and subscribing to our YouTube at MCTV _.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring everything back together in the whole 9 to 5 versus entrepreneur like debate or conversation, and say that it all kind of depends on what your setup is and what works best for you. If you're in a situation where you need stability and income, then maybe the 9 to 5 might work good for you for right now until you can get something figured out. And on the other side of the spectrum, if you have an opportunity where you see where you have a clear line of how you can make some money, and you know that it's only a couple things that you have to do to like set it up so the money can start coming in, then being an entrepreneur might work better for you. Or if you're someone that kind of doesn't like to conform to other people's rules and whatnot, then hey, that might be another indication that you might be better off as an entrepreneur. But yeah, at the end of the day, it kind of all boils down to what you want for your life and what works best for your situation. And
I think everybody should try. I don't think everybody should have a business, but I think everybody should at least attempt entrepreneurship in some degree or aspect, at least, just to even see what the waters is like for yourself. Because it teaches you a lot more personally. Even if you're not as successful, you can learn a lot more about yourself and just how other people think and move for real.
Yeah, I believe if you're not 100% fully engaged and like love every second of what you do at your job, then there should be things on the side that you should look into, for uh, to get into so you can make some money and do what you like and be able to make more money doing it. Because at the end of the day, that's what the goal is. Like we don't all pursue higher education to get degrees and things that we have interest in to work a job that we like. So if you don't like what you do for your occupation, then you know, entrepreneurs being an entrepreneur might be a way for you to get the best of both worlds. Being able to make money for yourself and do what you like to do. While you're making the money, and then on top of that, there's no caps to how much money you can make being an entrepreneur. The sky's the limit, and sometimes it kind of takes work on the front end. Like you put up the effort and the muscle on the front end to get things set up, and after that, the money's just coming in, like it's flowing in. Like you'll probably do a whole lot less work and get a whole lot more money, if you have a good setup and you have a good market and you kind of plan and unroll and launch things the right way as opposed to working, an hourly job where you're getting paid the same check every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You might have being an entrepreneur and having a business plan set up and a business running. You could have a $2,000 check this week and you put in some good work and you push it forward. Now you got a $10,000 check the next week, But that also comes like with pros and cons because you could be hurting some weeks. There's pros and cons to both of them. But at the end of the day, it kind of boils down to what you want to do and what you want for your life, and then you can kind of work backwards from those things to put your business or your job or your business job blend together to support the lifestyle that you want to live.
So definitely.
Right.
What you say,
that's
DP?
That's for the people. That's for the folks.
That's for the folks. Let them know.
I'll say a good blend of both is very necessary. But at the end of the day, what makes most people successful is who they know. It ain't always what you know, it's who you know, because some people can actually be the right direction to get you to what you need. And if you think about it, a lot of entrepreneurs that have successful businesses, they have a lot of free time to do other things because they have mastered the plan of delegation. Like you can't be so stuck on trying to do everything by yourself because you're going to wear yourself out and you're not going to always produce the best product. So learning how to delegate, but of course, finding like reliable people to do different things. And that's why I see like a lot of people that have success in business, they just overseers after a while. Of course, they the ones getting out the mud the first few years of business, maybe even like the first decade of business. But you look at them years later, and you're like, dang, bro, like I didn't know you was in business. And it's like, yeah, because I just stop by, I check on stuff, and I go on about my day. So they have mastered the art of delegating tasks to different people. And when you think about it, that's all managers do with us at our 9 to 5s. They just give us what they don't have the capacity to accomplish so they can do the bigger tasks. Or they do things behind the scenes that we don't even know how to do yet, but they were where we are years before us. So I think it's all about like learning as you grow and using that as a reference and a resource. And also just being open to ask questions. So whether you on a 9 to 5 basis or an entrepreneur basis, always talk to people and just pick their brain and learn from them and just ask questions because you never know. Somebody might be looking for something that you do, but because nobody know you do it, they can't ever find you.
Yeah.
And that's the same way when it comes to people that's like, oh, I'm looking for my next job. But who you telling that to? You know what I'm saying? Like if nobody knows that you're interested in the next job, I remember my manager told me, he was like, look, we can't read your mind. If you feel like you done, done enough in this role and it's getting boring and you're ready for something else, you got to let us know so we don't overlook you when it comes to like another opportunity in the business to help you grow to do something else. But like they always say, closed mouths don't get fed. So it's all about how much you care.
Yeah.
Like you got to care enough to really go to the next level.
Yeah. I think kind of what both of y'all saying stuck in my head. One, closed mouths don't get fed. And two, specialization leads to optimization. And when I say that, I kind of mean, like you said, if you like a manager, man, I always kind of learn with delegating the same thing. It's better and it's more efficient if you assign roles to people that actually focus on that role and they're actually good on that role. That's the best way
Subject matter experts.
Yeah, that's the best way to optimize. I think that goes right there. Specialization leads to optimization. And I think that's the name of the game in any sort of 9 to 5 or business entrepreneurship endeavor. I think at any point, you got to have the most specified and most qualified people in those roles to efficiently run your business at the highest capacity to make your money. And I think in that parallel right there, those two things are synonymous with 9 to 5s and entrepreneurship. In that quote, what that I just said right there, they got to have both of those things in order for them both to really be successful. So, kind of like what Kenny said again, man, you just got to kind of know yourself, know the value of yourself. It might not be for you, but you won't really know that if you're unhappy at your job and find some sort of pleasure and you think you can make some money doing another hobby or pleasure, why not try it? I mean, you're going to fail, but getting them reps, eventually is going to be a cycle. You're going to be big and you're going to have it moving. And I think that's just really what it is. And everybody got to do that, or at least attempt it.
Yeah, try. Like,
at least attempt.
Man, I be trying all kinds of stuff. Y'all be knowing about some of the stuff. I other stuff too. Y'all probably never know. Like, I'm finna get out there and test run this thing in runtime. Like, what this got to offer? What this got to teach me? What can I learn from this? And all of that is useful because you never know what you're gonna get into in the future and how that may benefit you. So I say try everything. It don't matter. Like, so what if it don't work? So what if you're not a millionaire? After a month or two, like it's not the end of the world. You either keep pushing or you figure out something else to do with your time. Like it ain't hurting you. Like you trying to like elevate yourself. You trying to push yourself to the next level. You're investing in whether it's yourself or you're investing in resources so you can build more for yourself. Like so that your work isn't proportional to the amount of time that you put in. It's more so about value than time. Like if you put a lot of value into like your business, chances are you're gonna start making a whole lot more money to the point where you don't have to work that much, but you're making a lot of money. So you gotta just basically keep going, keep pushing, keep trying, keep failing, keep learning, you gotta keep putting yourself out there. Like, because after a while, something's gonna catch. And when it catches, woo wee!
Yeah, I think changed your life overnight.
Yeah. Sure. We here.
And it's funny though, bro. Like I pay attention to little stuff, but even the fact that you like, you was like, I had to duck off for a minute to like focus on the certification. So you got to do what makes sense for your future. Like, had you been selfish on your own thoughts, so like, bro, I'm gonna just use my free time to just like fuck off. Like, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna vibe, I'm gonna scroll through social media. But you use your free time to actually propel yourself to the next level, and that certification go in return bring you more access to things and more money. So you got to actually care enough about yourself to better yourself.
Yeah, sacrifice. I had to say no a whole lot. I had to say no to a lot of people. There was some things that I still went to and some events that I still made because they were important. I felt like I couldn't miss those, but everything else is getting declined. Phone is on D&D. You cannot get to me. I can get to you, but you can't get to me. And I knew that was on my like do not list, like to-do list, and the do not do list was to be on the phone, like just be away from the phone. When I get off of work, I knew I had from 5 to 9 because I try to be asleep by 9 o'clock. So 5 to 9, that's 4 hours. It seems it's a lot of time, but it's not a lot of time all at the same time. Like if you get in there and just punch it out in 4 hours, you get a lot done. But at the same time, if you bullshit, like it could go by just like that, like fast too. So, I was just trying to get the most out of my days, and I knew that I could only do that by isolating myself and pushing everything else to the side. I'm only gonna be gone 2-3 months, man. It ain't too much that's gonna change while I'm up under here. You get back on social media, people still doing the same thing.
Ain't nothing changed.
Like you ain't never left, bro. Like you ain't
for real.
left.
Yeah, man, there might be a couple like I'll get back on and I'll jump into our group chat. I might scroll up on some messages, see what I meant. Okay, ain't nobody talking about nothing too crazy. And if something is that important, like it's gonna make its way to me some way somehow. Whether I'm
that's real.
or not. So like all the important stuff, it's still gonna get back to you. So or get back to me. So I was like, yeah, I'm finna man. Okay, y'all gonna hear from me in a couple months. I'll come check back in with y'all when I'm done with this. But yeah.
Hey,
what happened?
I was finna ask you a question like I'm interviewing you now, but it's something that stood out that I really, I'm interested in knowing more about. Like you said, you got between 5 and 9. So at what point did you realize like that's the limited amount of time in your window to really like accomplish whatever you need, and what made you like start going to sleep at that time?
So one, I would get home right around 5 o'clock from work. I work on site, so I drive to and from work Monday through Friday. I'll be home around 5, plus or minus 15, 20 minutes, depending on what's going on. And then I wake up at 4, so I can go to the gym in the morning before I go to work. So it's like, okay, you got from 5 to 9. That's it, And then you got the weekends too, which I still do the same thing. I would still manage my time the same way. Like I would still have a whole itinerary of what I felt I needed to do to be productive for that day. And I would just stick to it. And it sounds crazy, like waking up at 4 a.m. That sounds wow. Like 4 a.m.
Yeah, you be in it too, man.
Like,
in it too.
It sounds crazy, but like after you do it for like a week and you don't have no distractions, it's not that bad, and then you wake up early, you don't got to work out like it feel like, I don't know, you just got so much more today, and like you got to get the day, and then you get home, you just kind of push that good momentum into, after work, and then getting stuff done. And, like I try to track as much things as I can. Like I was tracking how many days I was working out. I was tracking how many questions I was doing per day, just so I can, see where I was at, like track myself. Like if I kind of fell off, like if I missed the gym, I try to go at least 4 days a week. If I ain't go 4 days a week, okay, I know that next week I got to get back up on my shit. Or if I know that I was doing like 120 questions at the minimum per day, studying for the course or studying for the certification. If I ain't hit that 120, like, okay, I know I'm not doing, as good as I could be. So, let me tighten up this week, or let me tighten up today so I can, make up for what I missed. And yeah, just kind of keeping with it, staying with it week to week, day to day. And it was a lot of times that I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to do questions. There's a lot of times I didn't want to do none of that shit, but like, pushing through that, like you still getting up, still like, how easy it'd be to stay in and say no. It's so easy. It's so easy. And it's like every time you take that easy way out, you're cheating yourself. Yeah. And every time you push through and you do it, even when you don't want to do it, that's a win for you. You build. It's like a muscle. Like you working it, like you working this muscle, being able to do stuff when you don't want to do it. Like, and then you get better, you get stronger, and then it comes to a point where you don't really feel that no more. Like, even if you know you don't want to do it, like you don't worked up doing stuff that you don't like doing or don't want to do so often that you don't want to do it, but you don't even get that same feeling in your stomach no more. It don't even bother you like that. You just kind of go and handle it. It's like, okay, whatever, like another day, another task, like, and then I try to start the day with a good mindset, like as an opportunity to get better or to get a little further, this is another opportunity. Actually making the most out of the days and making the days count instead of just letting them go by. Like it's so easy to let them go by. You need to be get the most, because it's 24 hours in this thing. People cut up their days, differently. And, there's some people who use their 24, like, professional and they get everything done that they need to. It's something they use their 24 to bullshit. It's how you gonna use your 24 today. You don't even got 24 because you got to sleep for 8 of them. So what that is, you got 16. You got 16 hours. Now, how you gonna use your 16? And you need to get that sleep too. So whatever you do, don't try to chop down on the sleep because that ain't the way to do it. You got to sleep hours. I done listened to too many podcasts, these health professionals talking about how vital sleep is to, productivity and a lot of other things, making sure your body is functioning properly. Like you need to sleep, so don't be cutting out that sleep. You need to cut out other things so you can still get your sleep in and do everything that you need to do. So, yeah.
That's solid. That's solid.
Tight shit. I ain't think we just gonna drop the mic on that one, there, man.
Yeah.
Good little gym
Yeah, it ain't nothing else to say after that.
Appreciate y'all, boys.
But on that note, what I was about to get to, I'm working on a guide, a blueprint for the exam that I just took. So that's something to be on the lookout for. I'm developing it right now, and I can't put a date on it right now because everything is still really early. But I will have a course out on how to pass this test coming up sometime soon. So,
stay on the lookout. Look out.
Hey, when you clip this up and you got your little clips, make sure to drop this
Plug
one
it, yo. Plug that thing.
Yeah, I got you. Like how you slip it up in there.
It's on the way. It's on the way. But I mean that formula that I just gave y'all about how I prepared for that exam and took it and passed it. Like that's just about the same formula for any goal that you have. Like you got to treat everything like the exact same way. You got to make time and you got to be disciplined. And you got to do things that you don't want to do. Like anybody that's successful, anyone who has something, anyone who has accomplished anything or is notable. They'll probably tell you the same thing. It's no secret. It ain't no secret. It ain't no recipe. It ain't no secret formula. Like, of course, having a network and connections, that does help. But, at the end of the day, you still got to get up and be disciplined and go and do things out every day and do things that you don't want to do when you don't want to do them a lot, and staying consistent with that and keeping it running and keeping it rolling. And then after a while, you've done amass $10 million, and it's like, dang, like it just happened just like that. Not that I got 10 million to know what that feel like, but you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. Hey, I'm pretty sure it works something like that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it worked like that. It's on the way though.
It's on the way. I'm on a pending right now.
I fuck with it. But man. Appreciate y'all boys hopping on, speaking with your boy, man.
In the cave with them boys. In the
cave. Made it to the cave, man.
Finally made it to the cave. I've been on you for a little while, like, bro.
Yeah.
You haven't done no episode yet, man. I got some people,
I'm gonna bring you back. Mentally capable. I'm gonna have to bring him back. He got the jewels ready for the people, man.
Drop it, bro.
Let the people hear from me one time, man.
I'm gonna let them know. Let them come back. Let them keep coming back from me, man. Well, all right, y'all boys. Appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Chronicles. We out.